It doesn't really do anything. You most probably don't need that. Waste of time. You heard it here. I don't care. Hi guys, I'm Renie. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today I want to try out something new because I really enjoy those ranking videos I see on YouTube. Ranking Taylor Swift albums, ranking gym workouts, ranking fitness foods or stuff like that. So I thought I'm gonna do something similar. Today, I'm gonna rank self-care methods, especially self-care trends that I personally see on social media, on Instagram, YouTube, on TikTok even. And I want to rank them on how effective they are, how accessible maybe, and if it costs a lot of money. Because I think there is a lot of self-care talk out there on TikTok and on Instagram, especially for the girlies, but most of the times it's just consumerism. So that's why I'm gonna tell you my own personal opinion. Let's get on to it. Good. As you can see here, I'm trying out this tier maker list, and I've already put all my pictures in about the self-care trends that I personally found on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. These were the self-care trends I really thought had to be on there. So I've already named all my different tiers, and I want to go through those names with you. So number one is I became a higher being. This is the best of the best. This is like the holy grail of self-care. It's accessible, it's maybe even for free or very cheap. So if I really like something, I'm gonna put it in here. After that, we have It's Always a Good Time. I thought this tier is for the self-care trends that work, that I personally like, but that are not perfect. After that, The Nile is a River. This tier is for all the trends that I personally like, but I know for sure are actually bullshit. So I thought I'm gonna put it there, like The Nile. Then after that, we have wellness, because is it really wellness? Or is it just stupid? And then we have our last tier, which is waste of time. In my opinion, don't do that. It's really not that deep. Move on with your life. Okay, let's start. My first picture is a picture of a gallon of water, because you may or may not have seen that on TikTok. Water talk. There was this trend with the Stanley cups, but even before that, I saw those trends drinking a gallon of water the whole day. And then there were a lot of big bottles with this trend. So I really wanted to put it on there because I think people saw it as self-care. But for me personally, I think it's actually wellness, since water is always good for you. Drink water. Be water, my friend. But here in Europe, at least, you can drink water for free. You can drink tap water, it's very good here. And you don't need to buy those fancy bottles or put in a lot of chemicals like we saw on Water Talk. So if it turns into this trendy area where you need a specific flavor or a specific bottle, then it's stupid in my opinion. But water itself is a really good thing to do. So I'm putting it in wellness, just because why make it a trend if it's just water? Okay, after that I have positive affirmations. My picture here says I can do it, I will do it, I deserve it. I think affirmations are nice, especially if you tend to talk very badly with yourself. But to be honest, it doesn't work for me personally. So I'm gonna put it in wellness. I think it's not completely stupid. It's for free at least. You just need a mirror and you just need to talk to yourself. But when I do it, I feel like Beyonce for 2 minutes and that's it. So it doesn't work for me personally. Okay, the next picture is about bath time, because I feel like taking a bath is something that is very strong in the self-care community. And it's nice to stay clean, right? But you know what? I want to be controversial today, so I'm gonna put it in... No, I'm not gonna put it in waste of time. It's still taking a bath. I'm also gonna put it on wellness. I'm so sorry for that. Maybe this video will be very boring. But I think it's really just taking a bath. And when it comes to, oh, actually, when I think about that, taking a bath is really relaxing. So I'm gonna put it in here. I personally really love taking baths, but when it comes to those trendy TikToks that I see, where there are just people putting in 5 bath bombs in one bathtub with a lot of glitter and sprinkles and make like a whole routine out of just taking a bath, I think that's a little bit excessive. But other than that, just taking your time for yourself, taking a bath is a nice thing and I like to do it. So yeah, the Nile is a river for that one. Okay, coloring books. I think this was a trend 2 years ago, especially during COVID actually, so maybe even 4 or 5 years ago. And sometimes I see it today, but it's not that omnipresent right now. I think it's nice and it's not that expensive. So I'm gonna put it in the Nile is a river because especially as an adult, we forget how it is to just be with ourselves, not be as productive, do something that is really easy but just fun, like coloring. So having those adult coloring books can be really nice to just calm down. Yeah. Okay. After that, we have skincare. And I think we have to see it in 2 different ways. If it's just skincare on its own, I think it's always a good time. But with this trend of 10-step skincare routines. And I personally say it's a waste of time. Why? Because it's just skin. We all age. Aging is a privilege in my opinion. So focusing so much on not getting older and not having fine lines and wrinkles is not really something we should focus on. Especially those young girls on TikTok, on Instagram, who are like 21 and are already telling me how to look younger and what skincare routine they have. I don't want to know. I just want to look my age. And if I'm 60, I want to look like I'm 60. That's totally fine. I still do skincare. I'm not gonna lie. I have face masks. I have 2 steps: washing my face and putting on cream. And maybe once in a few months, I'm gonna put on a mask. That's more than enough in my opinion. And you don't need 3, 4, 5 different creams. You just need one. That's it, in my opinion. But please let me know in the comments. Okay, after that we have therapy. Therapy, very important, of course. I think very underutilized in self-care discourse. I think it's always a good time. I'm not gonna put it on the highest tier because it can be very expensive and it's not that accessible, especially when you live in a rural area where there are not a lot of therapy centers. I don't know if that's the right word, but there are different things that you can do. There are online courses you can take. You can buy books to coach yourself maybe. I know it's not as good as if you have a real trained therapist, but it's better than nothing. Still, I could never put it on the Nile is a river because therapy is just the gold standard in my opinion. If you have a good therapist. I should do a story time one time because there was one time where my therapist was really weird. I went there one time and never again because he was a Trump fan. He had a huge poster of Putin and Trump in his room and that really showed me I need to leave here. Yeah, but maybe that's a story time for another time. Okay, then I have a picture of cooking. I think cooking is a really nice way to practice self-care. So I think cooking is the first one that goes onto the highest tier. Cooking, I became a higher being. Why? Because everyone needs to eat, period. And learning how to cook, knowing how to feed yourself and your family is very important. It can be very therapeutic and it's most of the times it's even cheaper than going out to eat. So that's why I think it's a nice time. Yeah, I love to cook. It calms me. Okay, the next picture symbolizes decluttering because I see that a lot on TikTok, decluttering videos, decluttering closets and stuff like that. And I think it's really good. It can be also nice for the environment because most of the declutterings also take those clothes to shelters and donate them or just resell them. So I think that's good. I think I'm gonna put it on It's Always a Good Time because I also think we live in a society where we just have a lot, especially in the Western world, in Europe and most probably also in the United States and Canada and other countries like that. We have too much. I personally wish I was a little bit more minimalistic, but it's not as easy. I'm still a girly, I still love stuff, but I'm trying my best and I declutter a lot actually, and it just really frees my mind. I think it's really good. After that, fancy matcha, fancy latte. I'm gonna put it in The Nile is a River. Why? Because I love it. I am a girly through and through. I love matcha. I don't really drink coffee, but if it's a really sweet latte, then I can drink it, of course. I really love pumpkin spice latte. So I know why people love it, because I am people. But I also know that it's kind of stupid. It's most of the time just too expensive. And it's also not as good for the environment as I wish it was. Because if you go out to drink coffee, to go especially, you will have those cups, those plastic cups that are just single use. So I'm trying not to do it too often, but I still enjoy. Oh, also, I think this trend with fancy latte and coffee and matcha is a really good indication of our current times, of the recession time we live in right now. Because since when did drinking something become a luxury, you know? There are so many videos I see online of guys and girlies showing their fancy drinks and being like, oh my God, I did that for myself today. And I'm like, it's just the drinks, babe. Go home, make yourself a coffee at home. It's 60 cents and stop. Just stop. But I think it's because our generation cannot afford houses, cannot afford big vacations and stuff like that. Everything becomes so expensive right now. So just having a fancy drink is real luxury for us right now. Yeah, I understand, but I am people, I still like it. Okay, next one is loungewear. Especially those loungewear sets that are like beige or white and matching. I'm gonna put it in well, because what's wrong with wearing your old t-shirts and your jogging pants? I know it's cuter to have a matching set, and if you feel like it, you do you. I'm not judging any of those trends. If you like them, you do them. It's just my own opinion. But I just don't see the appeal in buying one matching set, and if my shirt gets dirty, I don't have a matching set. So I'm not gonna wear those pants either. Yeah, and also most of them are just boring. I don't really like them. I'm just gonna wear my own clothing, which is cute and comfortable. And if I need something that can get dirty, I'm gonna wear an old t-shirt and a jogger. Yeah, so not for me. Next one is meditation. I think meditation is really underutilized. I became a higher self, literally actually, when it comes to meditation, because when you do it right, you will transcend. Yeah, I really like it. I wish I did it more. I really want to do it more, but just being with yourself, with your own thoughts, not thinking about how to be productive, just being in the moment. I think that's what we all need, and it's for free if you just concentrate on meditation. You don't need those fancy candles or stuff like that, but just meditate, and I think that's really nice. Apropos candles, scented candles. I'm gonna put them on The Nile is a River. See? I think it's here. Oh yeah, you couldn't see them. I love scented candles. I always put one on when I'm just vibing, when I'm just spending time with myself. if it's in the bathtub or if it's meditating or even if it's cooking, I always put them on. And I think scent is something that really calms me. So I love them, but I know that they are not necessary for self-care, especially those really expensive candles. Looking at you, Gwyneth. But yeah, I still like them. Next, reading. I think it was last week where I uploaded my video about how to become a reader as a lazy girly. So you might know that I'm gonna put it on It's Always a Good Time. I think it is always a good time to read. I think it really helps you to calm down, to be in the moment, to also become more empathetic because you have the time to really get into the head of different people, of different characters. I really think that I learned a lot of my emotional intelligence through reading and through understanding others' perspectives. Yeah, I think reading is something everyone should do. And you should, of course, read what you love. If it's romance, that's cool. If it's classical books, that's also cool. If it's thrillers, if it's memoirs or finance books, all cool. But I think, yeah, reading is nice. On the other hand, I have to say, if you have to buy every book and you don't really read them, but you just want to have them in your home to display them, then it's something different. But I'm just talking about the act of reading here. Okay, next is yoga. And to be honest, yoga, I'm gonna put it in It's Always a Good Time. There was a time where I really thought yoga was super, super overhyped, especially when you think about the origins of yoga when it comes to Indian culture, and then the very white influencers that made their own kind of way out of that. But right now, during my unemployment, I really love it because it calms me down. It really helps me to find my own roots. It really helps me to connect with my inner self, to connect with my breathing, to connect with my body, to feel every stretch. And yeah, that's why I think it's really nice. And it can be free because there are a lot of really amazing creators here on YouTube who have free yoga videos. Yeah, so I like it. But for me, I personally love to go to yoga studios because when I do it at home alone, I'm not as good because I know no one is watching, so I'm just gonna lay down in Shavasana. But when I'm in a studio, I know that people are watching, so I really try to follow along well and stuff like that. So I like it. Next one, hair vitamins and other supplements. I'm gonna put it in waste of time. You heard it here. I don't care. I think it's so stupid. I'm sorry. If you love it, I personally think, why? Just eat a healthy diet, eat the rainbow, and then you will be fine. And if you have a specific disease or some illness and you need to consume a specific vitamin, your doctor will tell you. But just because something looks cute or it tastes like gummy bears, don't take that. It's just very expensive. It doesn't really do anything. You most probably don't need that, so it's just expensive pee. And yeah, not for me, waste of time. Okay, next one is journaling. Journaling, yeah, it's always a good time. Because journaling, you can do that in different ways. You can do it by just writing down your thoughts like a kind of diary, and I think that's really nice. Or you can go all out and be one of those journaling girlies who have whole spreadsheets of beautiful art covers in their journals. I think all of that is nice. I really wanted to become one of those journaling girlies. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. And I did a lot of art stuff in my journal and I really liked that. But I realized that I'm just not as artsy as them. For me, I just need to write things down. So I still journal, but it's more like a diary with to-do lists and stuff like that. And it helps me a lot. I always feel calmer when I have my journal with me because I know if there's anything I need to write down or I need to think about, I can just write it there. I can read it later. It's amazing. So yeah, it's always a good time. Okay, nail care. Nail care, I'm gonna put in the Nile is a river. Am I gonna put it here? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the Nile is a river. Why? Because as you can see, I don't have a manicure right now, but I wish I did actually. I think having nice hands and nice nails are very important for first impressions. It's as important as having clean and healthy teeth. So yeah, I think it's good. But on the other hand, I know that there are a lot of trends online right now about butter yellow nails, glazed donut nails, blueberry nails, aura nails. You don't need all of that to be self-care-ish. You just need clean hands and a nice color maybe if you want to, and that's more than enough. Now, the next trend is restocking, because I see that a lot on shorts and on TikToks, especially fridge restocking, and I think it's a waste of time. Why? Because I personally think those restocking videos are just pure consumerism. Big bags into small bags, it always needs to look as aesthetic as possible, but who lives like that? A fridge doesn't have to look beautiful and perfect and have a lot of different sodas and stuff like that. You just need stuff to eat in there, and it doesn't have to look perfect. So I think it's stupid. I'm sorry if you like that, but yeah, you do you, and I don't like it. Okay, next one is mood boards. And I have to say, mood board goes straight to I became a higher being. Why? Because it's my preferred self-care method. If I feel down or if I feel like I'm losing myself, I always look at my mood board to recenter, to realize what I want to achieve in life and do that. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I made a mood board for every year. It really helped. And I also kept my mood boards from the last years to see how my own vision of myself evolved over time. And I think it's really nice. So mood boards are really cool. They are like journaling, but in a more aesthetic way and in a way that really helps to just look at it and you don't have to read anything. So that's what I do personally, and I think it's awesome. Next one is Hot Girl Walk. And I think I'm gonna put Hot Girl Walk on I became a higher being, because I know it's a really trendy term, but it's for free, it's easy, it's really accessible, and I think everyone should walk more, especially in our Western society where we are always sitting. So it's nice to just remind yourself to go out and to just stroll around your neighborhood and have a good time. Especially in the summertime is nice. In the fall and winter time, I have to remind myself. But then I think having this kind of trend like Hot Girl Walk really helps. So I think it's cool. Last but not least, meal prepping. I'm gonna put meal prepping on wellness. This might be controversial, but I hate meal prepping because I just don't want to tell myself what I'm gonna eat later. I just want to feel what I'm hungry for. I want to cook because I think cooking is something that really calms me, so I love to do that. Most meal prepping meals are boring. Sorry to say that, but I don't really like them. Can you meal prep pizza? I'm not sure. So yeah, that's why I think it's okay. I think there are people that really enjoy that, but for me and for my current lifestyle, it's also not necessary. Maybe it will change when I have kids or stuff like that, but right now I'm fine without prepping. Okay guys, so this was my ranking of self-care trends that I personally saw on social media. I hope it was interesting for you and see you all next week. Bye!